Microphone check 1 2 1 2. This is your host, not some baby, and this is another episode of Swingers After Dark. And I wanted to speak with a LS vet. I've been knowing for quite some time, and I wanted to speak about the proper etiquette of a single male or even a man and a couple on how he should approach, another couple if he or they wanted to, whether it's the single male who wanted to swap, whether it's the male in a couple who wanted to play with the other male's significant other, or if the couple wanted to swap. So I wanted a lifestyle veteran, an LS vet, to break down the proper etiquette, the proper decorum on how to approach a couple, whether you're another couple, a male in a couple, or you're a single male. And with that said, brother, we just lamping at the meet and greet in a bowling alley, and I appreciate you taking the time out to build with me about this topic, because a lot of newbies, even some veterans, they don't understand the proper etiquette because they think the lifestyle is the wild wild west, and because sex is involved, is no holds barred, but really there are rules to the game. So break down, I want to speak about single males first. Like, let's say, me for an example, if I found your wife attractive and I wanted to play with her, how would you want me to go about, possibly setting up a play date? And if she was interested in me, how would you want me to go about doing it?
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. First, number one, there are rules of engagement. The number one rule: assume every woman at an LS party has a husband. Let that sink in. Now, what happens is you'll always stay in the safe zone when you do that. And the reason being is because it's such a mixture of women with men, husbands, boyfriends, friends, and the like. So you have to make sure you stay in a safe zone. The dude that stay in the safe zone is the dude that gets pussy all day. And a lot of times, he's the one that's the most quiet, but the most respectful in the building. But he's going to get all the pussy because the husbands are going to stamp him. The boyfriends are going to stamp him because he's not showing greed. He's not showing aggression. And as a man, that's what we respect. We respect men that play their part and stay in their zone. You can ask all day, but that don't mean you're going to get no pussy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She may not be feeling you. The husband may not feel you, may be feeling you. As a combination, both of them may not be feeling you. So the best thing for a single dude to be able to get pussy is to play it safe and stay in your zone, period.
So would you want him to approach you first?
When it comes to approaching, you can do that. You can be up front and approach, right? When you approach, normally what happens is, I'm going to tell you, 99.9% of the time, they're going to put you on hold. They're going to put you on the back burner because they're trying to fill you out and see what type of dude you are. Because most dudes, once they're shelved, they'll come off the shelf voluntarily and ask again and again and again. That's a turnoff for a couple. So you have to keep in mind, that's why I say the best rule of thumb is to play your part, stay to yourself, be neutral. Because you're going to get picked. The woman's going to pick you or the dude's going to pick you or they're going to pick you together. That's the thing. The quietest dude that's playing the background like a backup singer is the one that's getting the pussy.
So what are some things that you look for in a male who want to play with your woman in regards to how he move or what he may say? What do you specifically look for?
It's not what he says. It's what he doesn't say. That's why I say once a dude shows interest, he doesn't have to do that by verbalizing anything. He can look and I can see that he's desiring my lady. So as a man, that's the type of dude that's going to attract my attention because he's a respectful dude. We're not dummies, we grown folk. So once we connect, I already know what the deal is. So I'm going to keep a third eye out on this cat. So we've been in situations where guys that wanted to play had came in and played security to keep other guys that were hungry and thirsty away from us. And they were able to get in. That individual dude was able to get in because of his actions. So it's not so much as what you say, it's more or less of what you don't say and how you represent yourself in the LS.
Because you know what they say, 85% of communication is nonverbal. So it's pretty much how you conduct yourself as a man that will make you say, okay, I could see my woman playing with this cat because I love how he carries himself. So what are some things that, give me an example of a dude talking himself out of pussy? Or even, being reckless to the point where he walked himself, not only talked, but he walked himself out of the punani.
So when you in a LS, everybody is injected into this forum. So everybody, you have to vibe. How do you vibe? Yeah, you can engage people, but remember, this is the LS. This ain't a club. You're not asking for a dance. You know what I'm saying? You're not at a social gathering in the sense of, okay, we're having cupcakes, pies, coffee, tea, and we're congregating. You're at a LS setting. So the rules that apply is you have to be creative. You can't bring in other tactics that work in other settings. You have to be well versed on the LS. In order to do that and be successful, you have to be an OG in the LS. In other words, somebody had to pull your coat, educate you on what's going on in the LS, and you have to take that and utilize it to your benefit. So if I'm in the LS, knowing what I know now, I won't say nothing to nobody. I'm going to play the background like a backup singer. I'm going to be that fly on the wall, and I'm just observing. I might wink. I might throw a kiss. I might even stick my tongue out. But at the end of the day, I will not speak one word. Because in the LS, people do not like aggression. They like aggression when it comes down to the heat of the moment, when you slamming dick or you riding the shit out of dick. See, that's different. You already crossed over and got what you wanted, and you engaged in hot, heated sex. But in order to build it up to that point, you have to be creative. And you don't do that by spoken word. You can speak a word and talk yourself into some pussy. But you have to remember, let the woman engage you in conversation. Don't you engage her, because a lot of times what happens is that turns a person off. And if you new into the LS, the word will spread. Oh, that dude right there, he's doing too much. So now you fucked up from getting pussy in the whole club or the whole house, wherever you are. And you wonder, what did I do wrong? That's why I say, be that silent, quiet dude like a fly on the wall, and the pussy will come.
So it's funny you say that, because I remember before I started college, one of my sister's homegirls was like, let them come to you, because your vibe and your aura and your spirit, it would speak for itself. So I just wanted to say, were there any times whether you had to check or even possibly chin check somebody for disrespecting your woman?
Oh, yeah. I had to bust a dude in the head, right? So let me explain something to you. I'm from the street. So at the end of the day, you won't know that, because I speak and I deal with people with the utmost respect. I deal with women with the utmost respect. I have a wife. We've been together years. So you will not see me. I'm not that dude that's running through the club trying to get my dick wet. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to be that dude I'll dress down, whatever the rules are, I'm going to abide by. Women might come up to me, I'm going to send them to my lady, because that's the proper thing to do as a man. You're not going to sneak me no pussy. You're not going to sneak me no head. Ain't none of that happening. I'm going to stop that right then and there. And my lady would do the same thing. So you have to, I don't know why people get into the LS and they feel like, oh, I have to cheat. If you have a woman and she's in the LS with you, what are you cheating for? Mm-hmm. Why are you breaking that sacred vow that you have with one another when your woman is in the LS with you? Mm-hmm. You couldn't have it no better. My lady, my wife, is in the LS with me, and I will never cross her. Because the most important thing at the end of the day is my household.
Mm-hmm.
And we have kids together.
I find it funny you say that, because it's crazy, because even before we did this interview, you told me to tell your woman the same thing that I told you in regards to the topic of this podcast. And I thought that I didn't think it was different, but I respected that because you wanted her to know what we were doing. So I respected that part, and that goes back to, telling your mate everything that you're doing. You feel me? So they won't be surprised whether it's something that's quote unquote minor, like doing an interview, doing a podcast, so she could be abreast of what's going on. Because a minor, something that's minor could turn into major. You slip up. If you're not telling me this, there's no telling what you didn't tell me.
Now, we know sisters. How are sisters? They can bring you hell in a millisecond, where you be looking for a way out, where you be ready to jump off a bridge. Look, sisters are sisters. So if you want to keep things sweet, you got a household to run, you want peace in your house, you want things to flow smoothly, man, do the right thing. Most women aren't really difficult. They're not hard. Yes, sisters like to nag from time to time.
And for you slow motherfuckers out there, sisters meaning black women. Anyway, keep going.
So you have to, me, I love my sisters. I love them. And I don't have to fuck them to love them. I just love who they are and their place on this planet. So whatever I do, my mother, my sister, my lady, my daughters. I got daughters. I got 3 daughters and 3 sons. My sons, they can go out here and, I'm thinking about my daughters. You understand? That's just how I am. I know my sons. I know me. I did the same thing. I was out here and I was doing me and survived, struggled as a young dude and came into my own. My mother was worried about me. Like, she literally was worried about me. So I would call her, rest her at ease. But her husband, wasn't even my father, but it was her husband. He could care less. Because he a man, so he knows what's going on with me. Because we connect. It's that man thing. Boyhood to manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters got the same thing with their daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when my lady tell me anything about a woman in the LS, she might say, oh, that bitch right there, you don't play with her. That bitch off limits. And here's why. I'm like, all right, you got it, babe.
Mm.
But they don't know we're together.
Mm-hmm.
But what they're doing is they're delivering the bullshit. Just like dudes. Dudes come in, they won't speak to me, and they like looking at me like they got an issue with me. And I never said anything to them. I'm like, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? So then they see my lady, and they be like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? So they involved, they interested, they want to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at her and be like, fuck that dude right there. He disrespectful. The dude looked at me like I did something. I fucked his mama or his wife. You know what I mean? So we've been doing this shit too long. It's a science to this. Once you got the science down, it's real smooth and it's real easy.
So before we leave, give me an example of a dude, he came at you the right way and you say, okay, you good to play with my woman.
So at the end of the day, this is what happens when a guy says to me, he comes to me, approached me, and he said, look, bruh, I've been noticing you and your lady, I know y'all a couple and whatnot, so, I feel it's appropriate to come to you. I would like to play with your lady, and I want to know how you feel about that. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
And I say to him, if I see something wrong, if there's an issue somewhere, I've been noticing him in the party and shit ain't right, I'll be like, look, bro, I don't mean no harm, but that's not what we into tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want no extras. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you coming to me, talking to me, and asking me, can you play?
Mm-hmm.
That you didn't got kudos with me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say for instance, it's a dude I don't mind her playing with. He still has to go to her and ask her.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be like, listen here, bruh. You stamp, you're good. You got the green light, but you still got to ask mama. Just because I say yes, don't mean she going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of dudes, that's what they do. They go ask her, they talk to her, get in a conversation. Then she'll come to me and say, babe, this guy, he want to play with me, He say, I already talked to you, So we'll be like, okay, yeah, we on the same page. And I was like, yeah, I talked to him and I told him, yeah, if you don't mind, I don't mind. He has a green light. And she be like, all right, ma, all right, baby. So they'll go off and they'll play. I'll go in there, I'll check, make sure they're good, make sure ain't nobody doing what they ain't supposed to be doing, and it's all good.
Okay. And on that note, this has been another episode of Swingers After Dark, and this is your host, Not Son, baby. Check out my website at www.notsunblaze.com. That's www.nahsunblaze.com. And check out my ebook, You, Me, Us, Them, The Swinger Manifesto. It's on Nook, Kindle, iBooks, Google Play. Go get it. Shoot me an email at swingpodcast@gmail.com. That's swingpodcast@gmail.com. And hit me up with any questions or concerns that you may have. Rate, share, subscribe, and comment on this podcast. Yeah, dig. And on that note, until next time, peace. You know.